For most of my life, I've been playing video games. As a matter of fact, through middle school and high school, video games were probably the number one way that I spent my free time. And now at the age of 19, it's probably been a year since I quit video games, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it changed my life. And by the way, my name is Greg. I'm a self-improvement YouTuber. And if you could go down below, hit like or subscribe, whichever one you want, it would be a win-win for both of us. Anyone who knows me now knows that I barely even touch video games anymore. But it hasn't always been like this. My first basic introduction to video games was the basic flash games you learn about at school, playing cool math games and stuff like that. Around the ages 6 to 11, this was my main way of playing video games. I would go either at school or on the family computer. I'd play for like an hour, and it was a lot of fun. To be honest, I think this is where my gaming addiction, and I'm going to use the word addiction, first initially started. As a kid, you don't really know the science behind this, but for all of us, video games are the first real stimulus that we can get that gives us constant dopamine. And you probably felt this as a kid. Once your parents told you to get off the computer or stop playing the game, you really didn't want to. It felt like you were being detached from something that you needed. I remember as a kid, playing games on the computer was my favorite thing to do. And looking back now, I can see how that translated into how that addiction grew throughout my teenage years through middle school and high school. Around the age of 11 is when I got my first real gaming console. I had a PS4, and I got it as a gift. That PS4 was probably my most prized possession for my entire teenagehood, if you want to call it that. Never before in my life did I have access to something that gave me so much mental stimulus for hours and hours on end. Throughout these years of around 11 to 17 is when I would say I really got addicted to video games. It was the only thing on my mind all day. It was my number one motivator. It was the one thing I went to bed thinking of, and after school, it was the only thing I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was hop on my PlayStation and play video games. I have to admit, I had fun. It was fun spending hours and hours on these games with my friends, laughing it up. And to be honest with you, I created a lot of fun memories that I'll never forget. There was another side to this though. Being addicted to these games made it so that other areas of my life suffered. And just so you know, this isn't me bragging or anything, but most of my life, I've had a pretty easy time at school. I never really found many things too challenging at school, so my grades always pretty much kept up with what my parents expected. But the one problem was, once I started really getting into playing games, I was just so detached from school, it was the last thing on my mind. On days when I didn't really get to play games, my parents took it away. I'd get upset and irritable just because I didn't get to stare at my pixels on the screen. It also didn't help with my health. While I was pretty athletic, my sleep was suffering horribly. Throughout high school, there were days that I got 5 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, when I should have been getting 8 to 10. I was suffering, and I was causing it on my own because I was addicted to video games. And this is basically the problem that I say video games present to young men like us. You play video games for 8 hours and you feel happy in the moment, or if you play Overwatch or League of Legends, you rage at your teammates for 8 hours. But you kind of feel some sort of happiness or satisfaction while you do it. Let's say it's Saturday and you were just binging overnight, just playing video games, game after game. One more game, it's 1 in the morning, and then it's 7 a.m. You turn off your PC or your console or whatever, and you look in the screen, you see your reflection. Your neck is all greasy. Your throat is dry. You stink. Was that really worth it? If I'm being honest here though, this could be said about anyone who watches Netflix all day, TikTok all day, watches anime all day. Anything that you use to waste up your free time, and you spend all of your free time on a week-to-week basis, daily basis, you're spending hours out of your day to consume this product that keeps your attention, gives you dopamine, and then as soon as you finish, boom, you're not happy anymore. The joy of consuming that video game or anime or TV show or TikTok, it's all gone as soon as you close the game, as soon as you close the app. So why bother spending all of your time doing this? I know that by now, a lot of people have clicked off the video and gotten defensive, saying that they're not addicted to video games, they're not addicted to anime, and they don't watch too much TikTok. So I'm wrong and they're right, and they're going to keep going about their ways, and I'm okay with that. Eventually they're going to find that it really gives them no meaning, and if it does, you know what, more power to them. Personally, I'm only speaking on my experiences, and I'm telling you directly that video games did nothing for me. In the past 2 years, I've kind of dedicated a lot of my time, that time that I would have spent playing Overwatch and just mauling at teammates, I've kind of replaced that bit by bit with fitness. I've slowly learned to love it. And to be honest, it's probably one of the best choices I ever made. I now feel healthier, more satisfied, more fulfilled than I've ever felt playing video games before. There's a big difference between hitting a PR at the gym and getting, I don't know, a big kill streak on Call of Duty. If you're still watching this video by now, I'm not saying that you have to quit video games outright. I'm just saying, replace some of your free time with something that's going to level you up in real life. In real life, you can also min-max your character. You can max out your strength at the gym, your agility, your intelligence, your charisma. You can fundamentally work on all of these things in real life. And they're very hard. They're much harder than any game you've ever played before. But that's what makes the rewards and the success so much better. I hope that by now, if you're still watching, I've convinced you that self-improvement is the route that you should be taking in life. And if I did, I couldn't be happier. Thanks for watching. Winners win, losers lose. Go be a winner today.